Hi, my name is Robin Grille. I'm a psychologist and psychotherapist working in Sydney, Australia. I'm a parent educator, a writer of many articles that have been published and translated around the world, articles about child development, and I've written 2 books, Parenting for a Peaceful World and Heart to Heart Parenting. And my books have led to a number of invitations to run seminars and workshops for parents and for teachers around Australia and New Zealand, and sometimes in the United States and the UK.
Hi Robin, what will parents be learning and teachers in this session that we're going to be running for them?
Hi Allison, good to be with you. In this webinar we'll be looking at children's behaviour and how we as their parents or their teachers can be the best influence that we can be in terms of strong behavioural boundaries, as well as inspiring in our children the most pro-social, respectful and considerate behaviour. So what are the elements that will help us to move from the traditional, old-style, authoritarian approaches of behaviour control that a lot of us are painfully familiar with from the past, moving from authoritarian towards authoritative. That's moving away from punishment and manipulation and shaming towards a far more effective method of connection with our child in order to inspire the most empathic behaviour. These days there are more and more parents as well as teachers that are interested in attending courses and reading up about childhood development and how to relate to children. This did not used to happen anywhere near as much in previous generations. What's so interesting about the time that we're living in now, what is so interesting about the times in which we live today is that there's a rapidly growing number of people around the world that are very interested in learning something new about how to be influential, how to be leaders of our children, whether it's your children at home or children that you might work with as practitioners or in the classroom. There's a growing concern that for as much as we love our parents and we love members of the previous generation, we're wanting to do something different here. We're wanting to move away from some of the old style, the old method of controlling children's behaviour. There's something in us that is increasingly becoming uncomfortable with older authoritarian ideas of punishment and reward, the carrot and the stick. We're seeking something new. But in trying to move away from the old style of punishment and reward, the authoritarian control method, if we simply just react and move towards the opposite pole of being permissive with our children, that's disastrous, and that's been a failed experiment. And there are so many people really hungry to find out what can I do that's going to be different to the role modelling that I'm so familiar with. In this webinar, I'll be talking with you about what it is that creates the kind of bond with your child or children that makes them want to behave well, from the place of empathy, not from fear, from shame, from guilt, but from something much more powerful and long-lasting that will bring you far closer together. Empathy. So I'd like to invite you to join me in a free webinar I'll be running very soon, in which I'll be discussing with you how you can be the strongest influence of your children's behaviour, as well as asserting strong boundaries of behaviour with your child without resort to authoritarian methods of old. In other words, punishment and reward. And what I'll be looking at is what is the central element of authority and leadership as a parent or teacher, in the sense of how do we grow with our children the most empathic two-way connection.